Hello, everybody. It is with great excitement that I welcome you to Conacy Park this evening for a unique doubleheader where the Bruins are hosting two different opponents. First up, they take on a very familiar opponent of Toccoa Falls College. The Screaming Eagles coming here to Conacy Park looking for a win against the Bruins. My name is Trent Goldsmith, and I'm thrilled to be with you here tonight. A lot went into being able to play baseball here tonight at Conacy Park because this morning the field was not playable. Lots of water in the infield, but Coach Kyle Morrison and his crew put in a lot of work this morning and throughout the day to get playable. Charlie Compton is taking his base on a walk. Jason Quillen on the mound to start for the Bruins.
The Eagles, catcher number 12, Connor Merritt.
In Quillen's last outing, he had lots of control, pitched incredibly. He's looking for the same kind of control here tonight. He got an out in the first pitch of the game. Peyton Powell flew out to Kyle Prowse in left field. Quillen checking back Compton, and Compton gets back safely. Last time Toccoa Falls was here, Compton, one of the best hitters in the NCCAA, honestly kind of struggled to hit against the Bruins, but he's looking for much different results tonight and moving forward. Quillen is an off-speed primary pitcher, so he throws about 60% of curveballs and 40% of everything else. That one's in there for another strike. He's trying to find his rhythm right now. Charlie Compton, leading off first base, has 7 stolen bases on the season. Has the ability to run, has the speed, and has the jump. Quillen checks him back to first base. There's no 2 count against Connor Merritt, starting catcher tonight. Here's the 0-2. Got him swinging back into the glove. Squeezed by Cody Kirkpatrick. First strikeout of the night for Jason Quillen. Brings up Ryan McCarron with 2 outs for the Toccoa Falls Screaming Eagles. Elsewhere in the field, Conley Burks at third base. Mannix Crawford at shortstop. Angelo Gomez at second. Caden Kennedy at first. Evan Johnson's in right field. Zay Branson center field, and Kyle Prowse in left field. And obviously Kirkpatrick behind the plate for the Bruins. First pitch to McCarron. Big cut. Quillen doing a good job keeping Compton on first base. As most of you know, these games were scheduled tonight for 4 and 7. Instead, we're going to have 6 and 9. So we're going to have a long night here at the ballpark, but 2 big chances for the Bruins to get some wins. Another check back. The 0-1 to McCarron, inside, blocked by Kirkpatrick. It's a 1-1 count, 2 down here in the top of the first inning. That one's hit very high in the air. Prowse looks to be under it, waits for it, and finally catches it for out number 3. So a walk is the only damage. And the Bruins head to the bottom of the first inning, looking to get on the board first. Back here in the bottom of the first inning, Braden Alexander on the mound for Toccoa Falls. Alexander is the only pitcher on the Screaming Eagles team that has an undefeated record. He's 4-0 on the season in 30 and 1/3 innings pitched.
Number 19, Cody Kirkpatrick.
He's an 8.90 ERA, 19 strikeouts on the season. He just gets the job done, gets the wins. He's facing Cody Kirkpatrick first. Kirkpatrick's had a hot bat all season long, batting .380. Takes pitch number 1 for strike 1. The 0-1 to Kirkpatrick. Off-speed pitch. Good check. It's a 1-1 count. The biggest offensive days for the Bruins this season have come when they just consecutively hit singles, base hits. That's all they need, and that's when they score the most runs. Kirkpatrick, that's a grounder to Miller. Miller throw over, the scoop made by McCarron for out number 1. Hard hit grounder, but not far enough away from Miller. And there's 1 down. That brings up Kyle Prowse, starting in left field today. Has played the majority of the season in right field, but
Number 17,
Kyle Morrison, Coach Kyle Morrison put Evan Johnson out in right field for hopes of more offense tonight. Prowse takes strike 1. Kyle Prowse batting .315. It's a career best in his 3 seasons here. Takes ball 1 outside. Frame job by Merritt. Not quite good enough for the umpire to change his mind. The 1-1 count from Alexander. Blooped into shallow right field. Powell running in on it. He'll get there in time. Hangs in the air for out number 2. Brings up Conley Burke, 5th-year senior. Does a little bit of everything for the Bruins.
Third baseman number 10, Conley Burke.
Bats .376 on the season. 9 doubles, 5 home runs. Career high in both categories. Takes the first ball outside for a 1-0 count. Burke hit a home run in the last game against Southeastern, which helped them win the game 5-4. That was on the road in Mississippi last weekend. Another slider by Alexander too far outside. 2-0 count. The 2-0 to Burke. Hits that to right field. That will drift foul. And now it's a 2-1 count. Alexander, slow delivery. That one's ripped in the right field, and that one's going to land in front of Powell for a 2-out single by Burke. Brings up Evan Johnson with 2 outs. Johnson has continually gotten better throughout the season, now batting in the 300s. That has just gone up from the beginning of the season, hit a 2 RBI double last game against Southeastern, so the last win for the Bruins. Much thanks to these 2 batters in the middle of the order, Burke and Johnson. That one's fouled away on the first pitch. Johnson's starting to find his power. He's able to get his hands through the zone quicker, leading to a lot more hits. Here's the 0-1 count. Outside and in the dirt for ball 1. Alexander has about 4 strikeouts, I believe, more than walks this season. A 19-to-15 ratio. It's a 1-1 count here. Great pitch. And the strike is called late. At first I thought the umpire was going to let that go for a ball, which I would have disagreed with from up here. It's a great off-speed pitch for a 1-2 count. And now Alexander 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. That one's popped in the air, and that one's also going to drift foul into the seats. Johnson stays alive. Conley Burke still leading off first base. I wouldn't be surprised here if he starts running for a little hit and run action. He has a long lead off. Oh, and that one hits Johnson right in the elbow. So Johnson's going to take his base. Now 2 runners on with 2 outs. Evan Johnson was unfazed by that hitting him. Hit him right on the elbow guard, so probably didn't hurt at all.
Now batting for the Bruins, first baseman number 14, Caden Kennedy.
So now Caden Kennedy up with a big chance here to put the Bruins on the board. Burke in scoring position. Doesn't quite have his soccer speed anymore, but still decently fast and could most likely score on a base hit. Kennedy, the transfer from Trinity. It's been a big piece of the Bruins this season. Swing was slightly late for strike 1. Shaking his head, I think he knows. We'll see if he can adjust from here. Kennedy, 9 RBIs on the season. Has come up big in a few moments. Here's the 0-1. Foul tipped. And now facing an 0-2 count. Bryson French is on deck. Definitely wants an opportunity here in the first inning. But Kennedy has to get on base. 2 outs, 0-2 count. Braden Alexander delivers. Tipped back, but not squeezed by Merritt. So Kennedy stays alive. I might be imagining things, but I'm pretty sure Connor Merritt is wearing an AirPod underneath his catching gear. Nothing like listening to some tunes while sitting behind home plate. Doesn't sound like that bad of an idea, actually. If more people don't do it. The 0-2 count again. And fouled off again by Kennedy. The battle continues between Kennedy and Alexander. Johnson off first, Burke off second. Another 0-2 count. Good eye by Kennedy. And this at-bat continues. Bruins have made several 2-out runs this season. One, 2 count. Kennedy checks swing. They say he went. So it's strike 3, out 3 in the inning. Bruins make a threat to score, but can't get it on the board. So we're headed to the top of the second, still tied at 0.
Now for the Eagles, third baseman number 4, Nick Eckert.
Nick Eckert leading off the top of the second inning for the Screaming Eagles. Playing third base today. Hitting the left field, Kyle Prouse gets his third putout of the game. All three flyouts so far have been straight to Kyle Prouse. So he's busy at bat. He's busy out there, and it's one of his first appearances in left field. Cole Smith
Now batting for the Eagles.
is now up for the Screaming Eagles.
Cole Smith.
Last time Toccoa Falls was here, Cole Smith absolutely teed off on one. That thing was gone off the bat in the right field. Quillen's 1-0 count. Got Cole Smith swinging real early. It's a 1-1 count. Smith bats .387. That one's hit high and deep to left center. Prouse going back on it. On the track, Prouse squeezes it for out number 2. That ball didn't get stuck in the air for quite some time. That may have had a chance to go out.
Second baseman number 14, Aiden Dumas.
Aiden Dumas playing second base, now up. Quillen looking to make this a very quick inning. Already 2 down. Grounded, third base side. Oh, the third base coach could not field it. Hears it from both dugouts. Shrugs it off, says my bad, I'll get it next time. Most likely a former player or even a current player. The 0-2 count. Quillen shakes off a couple, now delivers. In the dirt, blocked by Kirkpatrick. Now a 1-2 count. Quillen. That one's hit the center field. Zay Brandt running back on it. Zay Brandt with the wheels. Gets it for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. Quillen's on a roll. Bruins looking to score first in the bottom of the second inning. Bryson French leading off the bottom of the second inning for the Bruins. Batting DH, continues to be in that DH spot or catcher spot. Grounds that one right down the line, barely goes foul. I thought that may have stayed fair, but You know, that umpire down the first base line definitely has a better look at it than I do, so I'm not going to quite argue that. French playing in his 3rd season for the Bruins. He was on the team the first 2 years of the program in 21 and 22, and then came back this year when Coach Kyle Morrison called him saying, we need a backup catcher and we need experience. So Bryson French came. He'll get recognized tomorrow on Senior Day for his sacrifice and contributions. Hits that one high in the air to shallow right field. Powell under it, and Powell gets it. We've seen a lot of flyouts so far. And now Angelo Gomez looking to break that streak.
Now batting for the Bruins, second baseman number 23, Angelo Gomez.
Gomez hasn't quite had the year he really wished for from the plate, but his leadership on the team has not gone unnoticed. He's getting the start tonight at second base. It's a big part to this Bruins maturity, Bruins good morale overall on the season. Now he's facing a 2-0 count. Alexander delivers, slapped in the right field. Powell going back, Powell gets it. So it's been Kyle Prouse in left field busy for the Bruins, and it's been Peyton Powell for the Toccoa Falls College in right field busy.
Now batting for the Bruins, shortstop number 1, Mannix Crawford.
Mannix Crawford now steps to the plate. Takes the inside pitch for ball 1. A defensive maestro from the shortstop position. Looking to get his bat hot before regionals. That pitch looked like it was nearly in the same spot as the first one, but called a strike. So it's a 1-1 count. Alexander looking for a very similar inning to what Quillen just had. Two-one count. Tipped back, 2-2 count. The 2-2 from Alexander. Scooped up by Merritt behind the plate. Now full count, 2 outs. Here's Alexander. Up and in. Crawford takes his base. Brings up Zay Brandt. Another senior that will be recognized tomorrow at Senior Day. It's his 5th year in the program. Him and Conley Burke are the only 2 that have played all 5 years of the program so far.
Now batting for the Bruins, center fielder number 2, Isaiah Brandt.
Crawford leading off of first base. Has some speed. He might go. Oh, they get him leaning. Oh, and Crawford avoids the tag. Great move by Alexander, but great slide in by Crawford. That one's ripped. That one will get over the head of Powell and go to the wall. Crawford rounding third and headed home. Zay Brandt headed to 3. Zay Brandt gets there in time on the slide. 2 out. RBI triple for Zay Brandt. It's been these 2-out runs that the Bruins have scored throughout the season that's given them several wins. It all started with a walk and a good at-bat by Mannix Crawford. The wheels on the bases go round and round to score. Kirkpatrick hits it to center field, and that one is shallow. Powell gets in on it, though, and gets it for out number 3. So we can't get Zabrandt in to score, but Zabrandt does the damage, gets Crawford in with an RBI triple. Bruins lead 1-0, headed to the top of the 3rd.
Leading off for the Eagles, number 1, Will Miller.
Quillen's first pitch is a strike to Will Miller. Bruins coming in the top of the 3rd inning with a 1-0 lead. Quillen seemingly has found a good rhythm. That one's dribbled back to Quillen. The throw to first base in time for out number 1. That was the first out in 4 outs. That wasn't a fly out. I said out a lot of times, so if that was confusing, I apologize.
Now batting for the Eagles.
Now Hayes Lightsey is up in the 9 spot today for the Screaming Eagles. That one finds the outside edge for strike 1. This is only Lightsey's 5th at-bat of the season. Right back up the middle. And that's his first hit of the season. A 1-out single for Lightsey. Brings up the top of the order Peyton Powell, who flew out in his first at-bat.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 25, Peyton Powell.
Powell's been busy in right field on the defensive side. And now he's looking to make a big difference here on the offensive side. There goes Lightsey, hit and run, and it is barely foul ball. That would have been a huge hit and run play for the Screaming Eagles if that ball stayed fair. That was a great jump by Lightsey. I think even if Powell missed, Lightsey would have been to second in plenty of time. Let's see if they try the hit and run again. Quillen checking back Lightsey to keep him a little closer to first base this time. He's done a good job of pickoff moves so far. The 0-1 count to Powell, and that one's inside and gets past Kirkpatrick. I think that nearly hit Powell, but got out of the way in time. So now Lightsey finds himself at second base in scoring position with the two best hitters on the team in the batter's box and on deck, with Charlie Compton coming up. The 1-1 count to Powell. Outside, in the dirt for ball 2. Two-one count. Just barely outside for ball 3. Powell with a hitter's count and a runner in scoring position. Up in the air for ball 4. So Powell will take his base. Runners now in first and second with an out. Brings up Charlie Compton. Batting .411 on the season. 9 home runs. 21 total extra base hits. But again, last time he was here at Conacy Park was probably the only weekend he didn't hit a home run of the whole season. Brief conference between Kirkpatrick and Quillen on the mound, trying to get Quillen to find his rhythm again. He's done a good job so far. In the 2 1/3. He has to do his best to avoid giving up too many free bases. Compton, big swing, blocked by Caden Kennedy. He's going to take it to first himself and barely beat out Compton in time. That one bounced up, hit Kennedy square in the chest. Did a good job knocking it down, but took a little bit of time to gather it. Got the out anyway. Now runners are in second and third.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 12, Connor Merritt.
So Merritt now with 2 runners in scoring position. 2 outs. Quillen looking to get out of a jam. Great pitch by Quillen for strike 1. Powell is definitely looking to score on a base hit. His leadoff off second is big. Here's the 0-1 outside. Good job by Kirkpatrick getting to that one. That one was a missed spot, so Kirkpatrick had to move his glove across his body to catch that. One count. Big cut and missed by Merritt, so Quillen 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Big encouragement from the Bruins dugout. The 1-2 count from Quillen. Up and out of the zone for ball 2. Good spot. Couldn't get Merritt to chase. So the Bruins get a 2-out run. And the Screaming Eagles looking to get a couple of their own here. 2-2 count from Quillen. hit up in the air. It'll stay in playing position, and Gomez comes and gets it for out number 3. Quillen gets out of the jam. Bruins keep the 1-0 lead, headed to the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Leading off for the Bruins, number 17, Kyle Prowse.
Kyle Prowse leading off for the Bruins here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Quillen just got out of a jam in the top of the 3rd, not allowing any runs. That one's turned on by Prowse and hit foul. Prowse flew out in his first at-bat, and since then has been very busy in left field on the defensive side. That one's inside and down for ball 1. Prowse turned on that as about as far as you can turn on a pitch, hitting that one into the near side of the Toccoa Falls dugout. I don't think I've ever seen someone turn on a pitch that far. Now a 1-2 count. Alexander looking to get a punch out. Up in the air for ball 2. The 2-2 count to Kyle Prowse. Off speed gets Prowse. Dipping that shoulder. Pop up. Caught by Will Miller for out number 1. And now with 1 out, Conley Burke steps to the plate. Hit a single. The first time up.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 10, Conley Burke.
The 1-0. Ripped past Will Miller. How was it? That ball was hit very hard. It almost was like you could feel the force of the ball off the bat. So Prowse has back-to-back singles. And that grounder shook Conisty Park.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 42, Evan Johnson.
Johnson was hit right in the elbow guard in his first at-bat. Looking to get a first hit of the day. Ripped. Not quite handled by Eckert. Eckert still makes the play over to second, and the Toccoa Falls Screaming Eagles still make the double play. Wow. What a play by Eckert to stay with that ball and get the double play. We're headed to the top of the 4th inning. Bruins still lead 1-0.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 32, Ryan McCarron.
Here's Ryan McCarron leading off the top of the 4th inning for the Screaming Eagles. Flew out in his first at-bat. One of 6 flyouts by the Toccoa Falls offense tonight. A lot of that is due to the off-speed pitches by Jason Quillen, just like that. That one's out of the zone. Fouled off for strike 2. Quillen has a 2-2 count. Looking for a second strikeout of the day. Here it is. Outside, barely misses his zone. Now a full count to the first batter of the inning. Toccoa Falls dugout making noise. Trying to get the energy up in this gloomy evening. The full count. Hit straight up in the air. That thing is a mile high. And after about 2 or 3 years, Angelo Gomez gets it for out number 1. It can't be that easy to see a ball in this sky. I know it sounds weird, but like it would blend in a lot.
For the Eagles, number 4, Nick Eckert.
Gomez keeps track of it and gets out number 1. Eckert swings through the first pitch. Here's the 0-1. Good pitch. Kind of surprised Eckert with that fastball. We don't see a lot of fastballs from Quillen, but that one definitely got the best of Eckert. Another 2-strike count for Jason Quillen. Up in the air, another fastball for ball 1. The 1-2 count. Gets him swinging. Strikeout number 2 for JQ. Two down.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 75, Cole Smith.
Cole Smith, who also flew out in his first at-bat, now up. In the dirt. picked up by Kirkpatrick. Ball 1, 1-0 count. All Cole Smith wants for Christmas here is a hanging curveball. Here's the 1-0. And that's another fastball in for strike 1. So it's a 1-1 count. Here's the 1-1. Big cut again for a 1-2 count. And Smith's last at bat, he was probably just about 5 feet away from clearing the left center fence. If he has that kind of power turning on it to right field, it's gone. The 1-2 count from Quillen. Hard grounder, Gomez can't get to it. And Cole Smith has a 2-out single. Brings up Aiden Dumas. He flew out in his first at bat. I don't know if you can hear those planes overhead, but that's the 3rd or 4th plane that has gone right over our heads. It's pretty cool. They're very close. Airport is nearby. Here's first pitch by Quillen is a strike. Similar position for how the Bruins scored their first run, but I dare say Mannix Crawford is faster than Cole Smith, but don't quote me on that until it comes true. Dumas facing an 0-2 count. Not quite there by Quillen. The 1-2 from Quillen. Fouled back into the net. Kennedy, French, Gomez due up for the Bruins in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the 1-2 again. Up in the air for ball 2. Two-two count, both dugouts making noise. Another foul ball. Dumas stays alive. The battle continues between Dumas and Quillen. Two-two count. Who's going to win the battle? That was a very close miss. Great pitch by Quillen, just barely outside. Dumas forces a full count with 2 outs, so Cole Smith's going to get a head start. Here's the full count. Outside. And after a long battle, Dumas wins it with a walk. That brings up Will Miller, grounded out in his first at bat. Miller's another defensive stud, a lot like Mannix Crawford. There's a lot of similarities between Miller and Crawford. Both defensive, like incredibly defensive players. They're both number 1. They both play shortstop. And they're both batting in the 8th spot tonight. I don't know if they have the same middle name or not, but that would be kind of funny. The 0-1 count to Miller. High and out for ball 1. Toccoa Falls continues to make noise in their dugout, trying to spark some energy with 2 outs. Another close miss by Quillen. It's a 2-1 count. That ball's too high. Quillen's lost his rhythm a little bit. 3-1 count. And he misses with that fastball, another walk. And the bases are loaded for Hayes Lightsey. And 2 straight walks with 2 outs. It's going to cause a mound visit. So Coach Rulapal going out to talk to JQ in the infield. We'll take a brief pause while they're out there. So now Hayes Lightsey, with the bases loaded, looks at strike 1. Quillen must get out of this inning without giving up any runs. That one barely misses as well. He's been trying to paint those corners, but hasn't found that strike zone. As of recently, the 1-1 count from Quillen. Grounded, fielded by Crawford, bobbled by Crawford, and the run's going to score. So that's going to bring up Peyton Powell, the top of the order with the bases loaded and 2 outs. We're now tied at 1. And now there's speed all the way around the bases for Toccoa Falls. So a base hit here, depending on where it goes, could score 2 or 3. That one's ripped down the first base line, and Kennedy grabs it and gets it easy for out number 3. So Quillen does allow a run, but does limit the damage. We're tied at 1, headed to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Bruins, number 14, Caden Kennedy.
We're now tied at 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Caden Kennedy leading off for the Bruins on the offensive side. Bryson French on deck. Braden Alexander still on the mound and still dealing for strike 1. Again, Alexander, the only pitcher on this Screaming Eagles team with an undefeated record of 4-0. Big cut by Kennedy for strike 2. The 0-2 count. Outside, good eye by Kennedy. As Kennedy that made the out to end the top of the 4th inning with the bases loaded. Kennedy fouls that one back into the net. Here's the 1-2. Fouled up and out. Count remains 1-2. This is the 7th matchup of the season between the two teams, and the record is 3-3. So tonight, the winner tonight is going to decide the season series before regionals. That one's popped up in the infield. Aiden Dumas gets it. 1 down for Toccoa Falls. It looks to be like the regional tournament is going to be hosted in Fort Lauderdale this year in just a couple of weeks.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 15, Bryson French.
French now up for the Bruins. Ripped down the third base line, past Eckert, and he's going to get a 1-out single. And it's now Gomez. Looking for his first hit of the day. Flew out in his first at-bat.
Now batting for the
Crawford
Bruins,
on deck.
23, Angelo Gomez.
The rest of the order is just filled with a bunch of speed. So base hits here could score some runs and do a lot of damage. Not like that, though. That one's popped up straight in the air. Will Miller gets it for out number 2. And now we see Mannix Crawford, who's walked in his last at-bat with a very long at-bat, patient at-bat. And he got his reward on a triple by Zay Brandt to score him for the 1 run scored by the Bruins so far. That one gets past Merritt, and French takes second. So now a runner in scoring position, a runner with speed in scoring position, as I should say. So Crawford, big spot here. The 1-0. Crawford takes it for strike 1. The 1-1. Outside for ball 2. Two-one count. Dribbler foul for a 2-2 count. Crawford now facing a 2-strike count, 2-2. Needs to have the same kind of result as his last at bat. Big moment here. Alexander delivers outside. That one gets past Merritt again, so French is going to take third. So the leading run, 90 feet away. Big full count here. Crawford just looking for a base hit or a ball four. Here's Alexander. And another foul tip. Crawford stays alive. The full count again. Strikes him out. Oh, no. Merritt couldn't hold on to it. Foul tip back into the glove, but not squeezed. So Crawford stays alive again. Another quality at bat from Mannix Crawford. Another full count. Dribbled to third base. Eckert fields it. Eckert's throw is a bullet, and it's in time. So the Bruins can't score the leading run. It's still 1-1. We're headed to the top of the fifth inning.
Fans, registration is now open for Bruins summer sports camps. Learn from our coaches and Bruins athletes to grow your game. Register today to take advantage of an early bird discount. Learn more at bjubruins.com/camps.
Conveniently located off of I-385 and just 5 miles from downtown, the Courtyard Greenville Haywood Mall Hotel wants to give you 10% off the best available daily rate. Their on-site bistro serves Starbucks breakfast and dinner with a seasonal outdoor pool with fire pit and grill available. You can learn more at Marriott.com. Welcome back to the top of the fifth inning. Jason Quillen still on the mound, was able to limit damage in the top of the fourth inning and only allowed 1 run, so we're still knotted at 1 apiece. In game 1 tonight, I mentioned earlier that it's the first time where the Bruins, as Compton's grounder to Kennedy, and Quillen goes to cover first base for out number 1. I said earlier, first time where the Bruins are playing 2 opponents in a doubleheader. So game 2, they'll be playing Carolina University, who just got here to Coniston Park.
Eagles, number 12, Connor Merritt.
Good pitch by Quillen for strike 1. That was too high for ball 1. So just about 30 minutes after this game, Bruins face off against the Bruins of Carolina. That one slapped into right center field, and that one will get down. Merritt takes second. Courtesy runner comes in. It's Davis Jennings. We saw a lot of Davis Jennings last time Toccoa Falls was here at Conisty.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 32, Ryan McCarron.
And now McCarron comes up with a runner in scoring position, looking to take the lead for Toccoa Falls. As of right now, there's no one warming up in the Bruins bullpen. Good pitch by Quillen for strike one. I think Coach Morrison wants Quillen to go as long as he possibly can to save more arms for the rest of the weekend. The 0-1. Gomez gets it, throws the first for out number 2. That moves up Jennings to third. And now Nick Eckert steps to the plate with a potential RBI waiting for him at third base. Eckert 0 for 2 so far with a flyout and strikeout.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 4, Nick Eckert.
Similar situation as the Bruins had in the bottom of the 4th inning. Runner on third with 2 outs, looking to take the lead. The 0-1 count to Eckert. Up in the air for ball 1. Here's the 1-1. Good block by Kirkpatrick. Keeps Jennings at third base. That one saved the run. Big hitter Cole Smith on deck. Here's the 2-1. Great pitch by Quillen. Gets the second strike up. And now it's 2-2. 1 strike away from getting out of another jam. Quillen's done a good job staying cool, calm, and collected. Can he do it again? Here's the 2-2. Outside, another block by Kirkpatrick. So now a full count. Quillen looking to avoid another walk. Full count, 2 outs. Top 5. Grounder down the first base line is fair. Stopped by Caden Kennedy, and he gets it for out number 3. Good play by Kennedy. Way to stay on his toes. And we're tied at 1 going to the bottom of the 5th inning.
Now for the Bruins, number 2, Isaiah Brent.
Back in the bottom of the 5th inning, Zay Brandt leading off for the Bruins, facing a 1-0 count. Braden Alexander still on the mound. Both starters doing so well tonight. Handling pressure. That one's grounded straight at Dumas. And put out for out number 1 of the bottom of the 5th inning. Brings up the top of the order in Kirkpatrick. 0 for 2 on the night so far. Still looking for his first hit. It would be in a big moment. Kirkpatrick, Prowse, and Burke due up. And the Bruins need runs. First pitch to Kirkpatrick. Nice little slider. Doesn't quite get in the zone. It's a 1-0 count. That one's hit straight up in the air. We've had a lot of these today. Ecker is under it in foul territory and gets it for out number 2. So 2 very fast outs for Braden Alexander. Brings up Kyle Prowse. Again, most of the Bruins' big damage done this season has been with 2 outs.
Kyle Prowse.
And they're looking to get some damage done here. Good pitch by Alexander. Doesn't quite scratch the strike zone. Here's the 1-0. Good pitch again, but too low. Two-0 count after 2 straight sliders. Prowse might be looking for a fastball. That's what he gets. Tries to. Oh, man. And now Coach Morrison hearing it from both dugouts on not being able to gather that grounder. First it was Toccoa Falls third base coach, and now it's the Bruins third base coach. Coach Morrison, former player at Brevard College. Here's the 2-1. Big cut by Prowse. And now Alexander just a strike away from getting out of the 5th inning. Prowse followed that ball all the way into the glove. Good eye, forces a full count. Here's the 3-2. In the dirt, Prowse is going to take his base. He's going to hurry down the first base just in case Merritt doesn't get to it quickly. And now that brings up Conley Burke. This is who you want to see if you're a Bruins fan taking the plate. He's 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles. 2 very hard hit singles.
For the Bruins, number 10, Conley Burke.
But before we see Conley Burke, they're going to have a conference. Conley Burke by stat. The best hitter in Bruins baseball history. Batting .376 this season. 22 RBIs, leads the team in RBIs. Also leads the team in home runs. Also leads the team in doubles. Tied with Kirkpatrick for most hits on the team. And actually, after the first 2 at-bats tonight, he leads the team in hits with 37. There are 2 outs against him, though, with Kyle Prowse on first base. Alexander after the conference. Tries to check Prouse back. Almost got Prouse sleeping over there. Gets back in time, though. 1-0 count. Let's see if the Bruins try a hit and run. Checking Prouse back. One-0 count still. In the dirt again. Burke just waiting for a gimme pitch. With Alexander struggling to find the strike zone lately. Checks Prouse back again. Daniel Abba over there coaching first base, keeping all Bruins base runners alert. The 2-0 count. Another ball in the dirt. And 3-0 count. Alexander now trying to fill a hole on the mound. If anybody has the green light on a 3-0 count, I would think it'd be Conley Burke. Checks Prouse back again. Our laundry services are going to have to do a piece of work on Prouse's jersey now. That jersey is no longer tan. Here's the 3-0. Off-speed pitch way up in the air, so 2 straight walks with 2 outs. Brings up Evan Johnson. There is action in the bullpen for Toccoa Falls. Pretty sure that's Luke Pruitt out there warming up. But as of right now, Alexander's going to stay on the mound. Face Evan Johnson, who hit a double play in his last at-bat.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 42, Evan Johnson.
2 runners on. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. We're knotted at 1. McCarron playing in at first base. Alexander gets set. First pitch to Johnson. Out of the zone for ball 1. That's 7 straight balls from Braden Alexander. Here's the 1-0. Hit high in the air. That one's going to drift foul. Is that one going to get out? It will. He'll hit the bleachers. So Johnson's on the ball. Just can't put it in fair territory yet. Prouse has a lot of speed on second base. That was the first strike that Braden Alexander has thrown in 8 pitches. But sometimes just a simple foul ball like that helps the pitcher find his rhythm again. It's a 1-1, 2 outs. Big moment here in game 1. Tip back into the glove. Big cut by Johnson. And now Alexander 1 strike away from getting out of a mini jam after 2 walks. The game has been tight the whole time. Johnson with a chance here to break it open. Here's the 1-2. Barely misses the zone. Everybody in powder blue wanted that one at strike 3. The count is 2-2 now. Off speed, that one's grounded to Eckert. Eckert throws over to first base and gets him in time. So after 2 walks, Alexander gets out of the inning. And we're headed to the top of the 6th inning, still tied 1-1.
Leading off for the Eagles, number 75, Cole Smith.
Top of the 6th inning begins with Cole Smith. And again, he's just waiting for a hanging curveball by Quillen, who's still on the mound for the Bruins. Early 2-0 count. Off-speed pitch in there for strike 1. Looks to be Mac Carroll warming up in the bullpen. We'll see how long Quillen can last here. Grounder. Another good play by Caden Kennedy at first base, and another hustle play by Quillen to get over there. Out number 1 in the top of the 6th. Caden Kennedy playing an incredible game. Actually, that is Evan Johnson now at first base. So Evan Johnson came in from right field. Sam Gonzalez is now in right field.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 14, Aiden Dumas.
That shouldn't overlook the fact that Kennedy did have an incredible game at first base. We'll make that very clear. That one's hit straight up in the air. Crawford under it in the infield and gets it for out number 2. So 2 quick outs. Brings up Will Miller. I mean, perfect scenario here for Coach Morrison and the Bruins is Quillen getting Miller here.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 1, Will Miller.
I would imagine that one's hit to shallow right field. Gonzalez coming in up, but Gomez goes back on it and gets it. 3 very quick outs in the top of the 6th inning. And the Bruins are headed to the bottom of the 6th inning with a chance to take the lead again. We're tied at 1. To start the bottom of the 6th inning, Sam Gonzalez is now batting for Caden Kennedy for his first at-bat of the night.
Sam Gonzalez.
Alexander still on the mound for Toccoa Falls. Oh, that one's going to hit him. Leadoff hit by pitch for Sam Gonzalez. He hustles down the first base. Right off the quad. It's okay, that Gonzalez family is known for very strong quads.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 15, Bryson French.
Bryson French now up. Squaring to bunt. Lays it down. Gets Gonzalez over to second base. Does his job perfectly. So the sack bunt by Bryson French puts Sam Gonzalez in scoring position for Angelo Gomez. The last time Toccoa Falls was here, there was drama, a lot like this one, but a lot more higher scoring. That was when Matt Carroll hit a walk-off grand slam. That was an incredible baseball game. We're here with drama again tonight between the two teams at Conisty Park. Bruins with a chance here to take the lead. One down. Checking back. Gonzalez, he gets back in time. Good move by Alexander and Dumas. Gomez 0 for 2 so far tonight with a fly out and pop out. Thought about it. Good eye. Up in the air for ball 1. Crawford is on deck. He has put in 2 great at-bats so far. 1-0 count. Another one high in the air to shallow left. Lightsey gets it. 2 down now in the bottom of the 6th inning. And now Mannix Crawford. Sam Gonzalez still leading off of second base. Crawford 0 for 1 tonight with a walk, but again, both at-bats. Strong, quality at-bats. Here's the first pitch to Crawford. Ball outside. If Crawford finds his pitch, he could take the lead here for the Bruins. Checks Gonzalez back. Gonzalez gets there in plenty of time. With Miller holding Gonzalez, there's a big gap in the infield. That one's hit back and out of play. So now a 1-1 count. So after a brief pause, 1-1 count, again by Alexander. That one's ripped to left field. Will it get down? It won't. Lightsey gets there in time. Solid contact by Mannix Crawford. It does not get down. So we're still knotted at 1, headed to the top of the 7th inning.
For the Eagles, number 17, Hayes Lightsey.
So this 7th inning could be very interesting. Hayes Lightsey is leading off. Jason Quillen still on the mound for the Bruins. After Lightsey, it's the top of the order of Powell, Compton, and Merritt. On the flip side, in the bottom of the 7th inning, Zay Brandt is due up for the Bruins, also the 9-hitter, then goes to the top. So very similar situations. And which team can get the best of them? It's a 1-1 count. That is in there for a strike. It's a 2-1 count. Thought that first pitch was called a strike. Apparently not. That one's ripped. Past Conley Burke for a leadoff single by Hayes Lightsey. So that brings up Powell, the top of the order. So now Morrison has to make a decision soon about how long he's going to keep Quillen in. Carroll's still warming up in the bullpen.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 25.
Powell's 0 for 2 today with a walk. So hasn't presented as a big hitting threat so far. But obviously we all know he is one. Big cut by Powell. Fouls it off for strike 1. Oh, 1 count. Lightsey leading off of first base. Hasn't stolen base on the year. Checking him back. Both pitchers with a lot of pickoff moves tonight. The 0-1 count. Powell squared to bunt, brings it back, so it's ball 1. 1-1 count. That might make Burke more alert at third base. Burke plays a little bit farther in this time. I think Johnson might be staying at first base. There goes Lightsey, hit and run action. That one's hit the center field. Lightsey's going to get held up, and Lightsey's going to go back to first base. So a fly out by Powell gives the Bruins the first out of the inning. Now it's Charlie Compton, also 0 for 2 with a walk, 2 groundouts.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 7, Charlie Compton.
Compton has struggled at this ballpark historically. Almost got Lightsey leaning on that, but Lightsey gets back. Would be a crazy time for Compton to break free of that struggle and get a big hit here for Toccoa Falls. In the dirt, blocked by Kirkpatrick, keeps Lightsey at first base. Check back again. The 1-0 count. Cut by Compton. Throw to second is not in time by Kirkpatrick. So now Lightsey's in scoring position. It's a 1-1 count, 1 down. To one of the best hitters in the NCCAA. Outside for ball 2. Carroll is still throwing out there in the bullpen. Here's the 2-1. Outside again for ball 3. Three-1 count. Compton with a hitter's count. And Coach Morrison decides to just send Compton to first base with an intentional walk. So now runners on first and second after the intentional walk, 1 down. Brings up Connor Merritt. Bruins have a force out anywhere. Kirkpatrick out there talking to Quillen. Hopefully that meeting gave Quillen a boost of confidence. Has to face Merritt and McCarron. Unless the Bruins can pull a double play here, which would be incredible. 1 down, 2 on. Quillen starting to lose his energy a little bit. The 1-0 count. In there for strike 1. Gets encouragement from his dugout. Bruins got to find the energy again. Here's the 1-1. Hit straight up in the air. That's exactly what Quillen wants. Johnson under it. 2 down here in the top of the 7th inning. Ryan McCarron, 0 for 3 on the day, still looking for his first hit. The .372 batter with 40 RBIs on the season. Looking for a big one here. 2 flyouts and a ground out so far today. Has Lightsey leading off of first base and Compton leading off of, Lightsey leading off second base, Compton leading off first base. Again, 2 outs here. In the top of the 7th, we're tied at 1. That one's upstairs for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Outside for ball 2. Two-0 count to Ryan McCarron. Outside for ball 3, 3 straight balls. Due to the situation, McCarron might have a green light here. He lets that one go for strike 1, 3-1 count. Quillen looking to get back into it and get out of this inning. He's done a great job so far on getting out of these mini jams and pressure situations. Here's the 3-1. Outside for ball 4, and he loads the bases with a walk. And now we're going to see Nick Eckert or at least I think, nope. It's going to be a pinch hitter. Ethan Andrews stepping in to bat for Nick Eckert. The freshman from Gainesville, Georgia, stepping up in a big moment here for Toccoa Falls. Bases are loaded here in a South Region game in the last inning with 2 outs. They're going to elongate the pressure against Andrews and have a brief conference on the mound. Quillen is going to stay in. Andrews in his 27 at-bats this season only has 4 hits. But with those 4 hits has 3 RBIs.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 4, Nick Eckert.
Big moment here. Ball 1. Lots of nervous energy from both sides. It's Toccoa Falls making noise on their side. The Bruins just holding their breath. Here's the 1-0. Strike 1, even though it's not squeezed by Kirkpatrick. There's been a couple of those today. So it's a 1-1 count. The 1-1. In there for strike 2. Gets applause from the Bruins side. This is huge. 1-2 count. JQ delivers. Almost gets him with a fastball, but fouled off by Andrews. Again, not a lot of fastballs thrown by Quillen. Almost surprised Andrews on that one. Count remains 1-2. Here's Quillen again. Up in the air for ball 2. The pressure continues here in the top of the 7th inning. Here's the 2-2. Strikes him out looking. JQ doesn't know who pressure is. We're going to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Bruins have a chance to walk it off again against the Screaming Eagles. Luke Pruitt is on the mound for Toccoa Falls to start the bottom of the 7th inning. It's been a pitching duel between Braden Alexander and Jason Quillen today. We're still tied at 1. Zay Brandt leading off for the Bruins with Cody Kirkpatrick and Prowse to follow.
Number 2, Isaiah Brandt.
Zay Brandt is responsible for the 1 run the Bruins have tonight with an RBI triple in his first at-bat. Grounded out in his last at-bat. First pitch by Pruitt's a strike. Again, reminder, last time these two teams faced off here at Toccoa Falls, or at Conisty Park, the Bruins won on a walk-off grand slam hit by Matt Carroll. Here's the 0-1. Hit right back into the net. And now Brandt facing an early 0-2 count. The 0-2 from Pruitt. He went around, drop strike 3. And the throw from Merritt beats out Brandt for out number 1. That was a weird way to get the first out of the inning. Brandt almost reached on a drop third. So now Cody Kirkpatrick, top of the order, up for the Bruins with 1 down.
Now batting for the Bruins,
Kirkpatrick.
19, Cody Kirkpatrick.
3 home runs on the season. Contact with the first pitch. It'll drop foul territory. He'll stay alive. In fact, it was Kirkpatrick that started the rally before the walk-off grand slam last time with the 2-run home run himself. A little repeat of history will be nice for the Bruins. It's an 0-1 count. The 0-1 count. Off-speed pitch. Lets that one go for ball 1. And now it's a 1-0 count. Or 1-1 count, excuse me. That That one's ripped to right field. It won't get down. It stays in the air long enough for Powell to catch it for out number 2. Brings up Kyle Prowse, who's walked in his last at-bat.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 17, Kyle Prowse.
Now the Bruins just have to keep battling and not be that last batter. Pruitt trying to push this thing to extra innings. First pitch to Prowse. Off-speed pitch. That thing was nasty. That thing dropped about 2 feet. Incredible pitch by Pruitt. The 0-1 to Prowse. Another off-speed pitch, not quite the same. Outside in the dirt for ball 1. Here's the 1-1. That one hits Prowse. He keeps the inning going. That one hit him square in the lower back. Cannot feel good. He's just walking it out. And now it's Conley Burke stepping to the plate in a huge moment. Toccoa Falls coach will call time and go talk to Pruitt. Prowse still trying to walk that one off. Conley Burke has reached base in all 3 at-bats with 2 singles and a walk. And now it's the second at-bat in a row for Conley, where he's had to wait because of a conference on the mound. I would be worried facing Conley Burke too. Conley Burke looking for his pitch.
Number 10, Conley Burke.
Cody Kirkpatrick kind of trying to create some energy in the Bruins dugout right now. Prowse leading off first base, Burke at the plate. Pruitt delivers. Tip back into the net for strike 1. Outfielders are deep. They're not going to let anything go over their heads. Here's the 0-1. Up and out of the zone for ball 1. One count. Off speed outside for ball 2. All Conley has to do is just keep this inning going. A base hit would put Prowse on second or third. But if he wants to do more, no one's stopping him. The 2-1 count to Burke. He hits that one up and out. And now it's a 2-2 count. So now Pruitt and Burke will battle this one out. Two count. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Burke hits that one straight up in the air. Will it get out of play? It will. So Burke has life. 2-2 count again. Pruitt trying to get out of this. Here it is. Ball outside. Good eye by Burke. Forces a full count with 2 outs. Prouse will get a head start. A base hit could get Prouse to third. Here's the full count. Hit again out of play. The battle continues. Pruitt and Burke continue to battle. It's full count again. Prouse will get a head start on first base again. Here's Pruitt. That one's hit high and deep to center field, but it gets caught in the air, and Compton is there, and he gets the third out. So we're headed to some extra baseball. We're headed to the top of the 8th inning. We are still knotted 1-1.
Now pitching for the Bruins, number 5, Mac Carroll.
We're here to start the first extra inning tonight in game 1 here in the top of the 8th inning. Mac Carroll now on the mound for the Bruins. 7 incredible innings pitched by Jason Quillen. He faced pressure all night long, only allowed 1 run. Great night by Quillen on the mound. Now Carroll looking to follow him up, starting with Cole Smith. Smith 1 for 3 on the night with a single, flyout, and ground out. Carroll has incredible strength. Fastball touches the 90s. Just like that for strike 1. Again, it was Carroll who ended the game last time these two teams played here at Conacy Park with his walk-off grand slam. Here's the 1-1. Great pitch. 1-2 count. Already out ahead to Cole Smith. Here's the 1-2. Fouled off by Smith. He stays alive. Evan Johnson, Sam Gonzalez, and Bryson French due up for the Bruins on the offensive side. I would not be surprised if Carroll bats for French. The 1-2 count again. Blocked by Kirkpatrick. So now a 2-2 count. Dumas on deck, followed by Will Miller. Both 0 for 2 with a walk. Here's the 2-2. Foul tipped again. Cole Smith stays alive. That one's inside, nearly grazes the shoelaces of Cole Smith, and now it's a full count to start the top of the 8th inning. So much noise coming from Toccoa Falls dugout. Here's the full count. Barely misses a zone. Cole Smith gets a leadoff walk, tries to pump up his team on the way to first base. There's going to be a pinch runner for Smith, with Dumas coming up to the plate. Jeremiah Campbell will now be on first base to provide a little bit more speed on the base paths for Toccoa Falls. Dumas 0 for 2 with a walk on the day. Carroll and the Bruins have to limit the free bases given out. It's one of their biggest weaknesses all year. Carroll checking back Campbell very early, testing him out. Checking him back again. A third straight pickoff move by Carroll. Waiting to see when he focuses in on Dumas. The bunt is laid down. Carroll gets it, throws over to first base for out number 1. So Campbell advances to second, now in scoring position. Successful sac bunt by Dumas brings up Will Miller.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 1, Will Miller.
Good pitch. It's truly all Mac needs to do. It's hard for these teams to catch up with that fastball. The 0-1. Another fastball, same spot. 0-2. The 0-2 count from Carroll. And Miller barely tips that one off to stay alive. In talking to Carroll pregame, I asked him what game he was pitching tonight. He goes, I think I'm closing the first game. I know my job and I need to get it done. So he's in that very position here to get the job done. The 0-2. In there for strike 3. 2 down now here in the top of the 8th inning. And now Hayes Lightsey. The only person on Toccoa Falls with 2 hits tonight. Up in the air for ball 1. Coach Morrison calls in his outfield. The 1-0 pitch. Blocked by Kirkpatrick. It's 2-0 now. If Lightsey gets on, top of the order is back up. The 2-0 from Carroll. In the dirt, blocked by Kirkpatrick. And now 3-0. Count. Carroll looking to get back in this at bat. Up in the air for ball 4. Actually, a balk was called before the pitch was given. So the count is still 3-0. And now the runner is 90 feet away from taking the lead. Kirkpatrick goes out to talk to Carroll. That kind of conference worked last time with Quillen. So now Carroll still with a 3-0 count. Trying to stay calm. And that ball's inside. And Lightsey's going to take his base. He has reached first base in all 4 at-bats. And now the top of the order, Peyton Powell is up with runners on the corners and 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. The sign was given out. I expect Lightsey to go to second to put even more pressure on this situation. Carroll now has thrown 5 straight balls after striking out Miller. Here's the 1-0. Ripped. Good play by Gomez, flipped over to second base, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. Angelo Gomez saves the day for the Bruins. What a play in the field. We're headed to the bottom in the 8th inning. The Bruins have a chance again to walk it off here tonight.
Now for the Bruins, number 42, Evan Johnson.
How about this baseball game here tonight, folks? We're back in the bottom of the 8th inning. Still tied at 1 apiece. Evan Johnson leading off for the Bruins against Pruitt. Hits that one right away. Shallow center field. Compton coming in on it. And that's it for out number 1. First pitch, first out. Just how Pruitt drew it up. And now it's Sam Gonzalez. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. That was his only at-bat of the day. He came in to bat for Caden Kennedy. Bryson French on deck. Gonzalez takes that pitch for ball 1. The 1-0 to Gonzalez. Off speed. My goodness. That thing was hung a little bit, so if Gonzalez was able to read that off the hand, he could have hit that one really far. 1-1. Hits that one foul ball. And now Pruitt ahead in the count 1-2. The 1-2 count. Almost hits the hands of Gonzalez. Would have been the second straight at bat with a hit by pitch. Well, now it's a 2-2 count. 1 down. Gonzalez slaps that off-speed pitch. Miller handles it, though. Miller over to first base. In there in time. 2 down now. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Bryson French looking to keep things alive. French had an incredible sac bunt in his last at-bat that got Gonzalez over to second base with only 1 out, but the Bruins weren't able to capitalize, so that's why we're still here in this 1-1 game in the 8th inning. French takes that one way outside for ball 1. The 1-0. Up and in for ball 2. Angelo Gomez on deck. Gomez, the one that made the great play at second base to end the top of the 8th inning and get Carroll and the Bruins out of pressure. Two-0 count to French. Little dribbler. That one's in the shallow part of the infield. Incredible play by Eckert. Wow. Eckert came in and got that with a great throw to first base to end the 8th inning. We're going still to the top of the 9th inning. Tied at 1 apiece.
Now for the Eagles, number 7, Charlie Compton.
Welcome back to the top of the 9th inning. Charlie Compton leading off for Toccoa Falls. Matt Carroll still on the mound for the Bruins. Ripped up the middle for Compton's first hit of the night. It's exactly the start Toccoa Falls wanted here in the 9th inning. Connor Merritt now stepping to the plate. 1 for 4 with a double. Compton with speed on the bases. Has 7 stolen bases on the season. Is third on the team, only behind Eckert and Dumas. Good pickoff move by Carroll. Compton gets back in time. There goes Compton. The throw was in time, but not grabbed by Mannix Crawford. Compton's going to take third. That throw was perfect by Kirkpatrick, not squeezed by Crawford. So now Compton's on third base. And Merritt's facing a 1-0 count. That throw by Kirkpatrick was perfect. So now the infield is playing in. They're going to do everything they can to keep Compton at third base. Check swing, foul tip. It's a 1-1 count to Merritt now. Or an 0-2 count. Umpire corrected me. Carroll needs a strikeout here. And he got it. Strikes Merritt out looking for first out of the inning. Brings up Ryan McCarron. 0 for 3 with a walk.
Number 32, Ryan McCarron.
And they're going to intentionally walk McCarron to put runners on the corners. That's a good move. McCarron doesn't have a lot of speed, and actually they're going to looked apparently like they're at first going to pinch run him. They won't. So now runners on the corners. 1 down.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 4, Nick Eckert.
With Nick Eckert back in. 0 for 3 on the day. Ball's way outside. Compton was far off of third base. It's a 1-0 count. Big cut by Eckert. Couldn't touch the fastball from Carroll. The 1-1. Eckert squares the bunt. He did go. So now it's a 1-2 count. Carroll 1 strike away from another strikeout. This strikeout would be huge for Carroll and the Bruins. The 1-2. Goes over the head of Eckert. And McCarron just waltzes down to second base. So now runners on first and second. 2-2 count. Or excuse me, second and third. 2-2 count, one down. Infield still playing in. Carroll just needs one more strike to get out Eckert. Noise from both dugouts. Here's the 2-2. Strikes him out. Drop third strike. Kirkpatrick throws it down to first base. Compton stays at third base. So now Carroll's just one out away from getting out of this jam. Huge. And now Jeremiah Campbell, who pinch ran for Cole Smith, is up to the plate. Man, would Toccoa Falls love to have Cole Smith right now, but it's Campbell. First pitch to Campbell, up and in for ball one. One-0 count. So much noise coming from Toccoa Falls dugout. Again, more nervous energy from the Bruins dugout. Here's the 1-0. That one gets to the fence, and that one's going to score Compton. Wild pitch by Carroll, and Toccoa Falls takes the lead. So close from getting out of this inning. It's not how anyone imagined Toccoa Falls would take the lead in this marathon of a 1-1, now 1-2 game. Up and in again by Carroll. Three-0 count. In there for strike one. Fouled back into the net for strike two. Full count. Carroll gets him. So after allowing a run on a wild pitch, the Bruins find themselves down one, headed to the bottom of the ninth inning. They have to battle back in this one. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to the bottom of the ninth inning. Toccoa Falls took the lead in the top of the ninth inning. Charlie Compton came in.
For the Bruins,
on a wild pitch to score.
Gomez.
And now Angelo Gomez starting it for the Bruins offense here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 0 for 3 so far today. Still looking for his first hit. Mannix Crawford on deck. Pruitt still on the mound. Great pitch to start. 0-1 count. One batter at a time. The Bruins just must get on base. Great pitch for strike 2. Gomez has to battle early. That one hit the dirt well before home plate. One-two count. Up and out for ball 2. Gomez stays in this at bat. Crawford and Brandt due up. Two-two count. Pruitt delivers. Outside. The patience from Gomez forces a full count. A leadoff runner would be loved by everybody cheering for the Bruins. Big battle here to start the bottom of the 9th inning. Pruitt versus Gomez. Here's the full count. Up in the air for ball 4. Leadoff walk. Gomez takes first. And now it's Mannix Crawford. Coach Morrison having a meeting with him before his at-bat. And another timeout is called, but on the defensive side. So actually, there's going to be a pitching change. Pruitt's going to exit. Pruitt, great outing for Toccoa Falls. Has kept this thing a tie since he's been in. Did his job very well. Waiting to see who's coming in. Crawford's going to be able to dial him up a little bit as he warms up. We're going to step away. We'll be back after the change.
Pitching for the Eagles, number 18, Joshua Remy. Now batting for the Bruins.
Remy now on the mound for Toccoa Falls. 7.6 ERA and 23 2/3 innings pitched. In to close this close game out. First up against Mannix Crawford. Crawford's going to lay down a bunt. That bunt was great, and that bunt's not handled. Crawford's going to reach first base. Gomez safe at second. That one woke up the Bruins side of this stadium. And now it's Zay Brandt, still none down. Great bunt by Mannix Crawford. Zay Brandt, 2 for 3 on the day. A single and a triple.
Now batting for the Bruins, number 2, Isaiah Brandt.
Brandt might be looking to bunt again to move these runners to second and third. There's still none down. Kirkpatrick is on deck. Brandt's going to swing through it, doesn't square the bunt. Will the sign change? Brandt's waiting for it. Brandt looks down at his sign sheet. Crawford off of first base, Gomez off of second. A small shift played by Toccoa Falls infield. 0-1 count. Still doesn't square the bunt. 1-1 count. This goes against the way that the Bruins have been playing all season long. Morrison understands Brandt's hot bat tonight so far. He's trusting it. The 1-1. Brandt rips it. Oh, no! And that one straight to Dumas. Doubled up Crawford. Just the most unfortunate placement on that hit. That was hit well by Brandt. So now there's 2 down out of nowhere. Can't take it back now, but the Bruins had a chance to advance both runners and only give up 1 out. Kirkpatrick now. One of the last threads of hope for the Bruins tonight in game 1. Gomez in scoring position. Kirkpatrick still looking for his first hit of the night. That one's inside, nearly brushed his knees.
Number 19, Cody Kirkpatrick.
1-0 count to Kirkpatrick. Ramy looking to close this one out for Toccoa Falls. Another inside pitch for ball 2. Kirkpatrick has hit the ball in each of his 4 at-bats, just hasn't gotten on base yet. Takes that one for strike 1. Two-one count. Kirkpatrick grounder goes foul. Bruins down to their final strike in game 1. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Kirkpatrick at the plate. Ramy delivers. Off-speed pitch. Gets Kirkpatrick looking. And Toccoa Falls gets the win. What a gutsy game from both sides. A pitching showdown with some flashes of leather on both sides. Toccoa Falls wins 2-1. Tough, close game for the Bruins, but they have another chance at a win tonight. It's going to be a late night, but in 30 minutes, we'll have the first pitch against the Carolina University Bruins. And we'll be right back. My name is Trenton Goldsmith, signing off out of game 1, getting ready for game 2. We'll see you back in just 30 minutes.
End of play. Toccoa Falls 2, Bob Jones University 1. Fans, thank you for attending tonight's game. Game 2 of tonight's doubleheader against Carolina University will begin in approximately 30 minutes.